Good afternoon and welcome to my space. I am Sherry Pluskota and Brian will be here in just a minute. And Cody needed a few moments to do a little something, so we're going to give him a few minutes. Brandon, welcome. Appreciate you showing up and being one of our listeners today. So I'm just going to go on mute for about another minute or so and we'll get started. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out and a thank you to our sponsor, Elevator Results. If you need to lose weight or to gain weight, Elevator Results will tailor make a plan of action for your needs. Check out their success stories at elevatedresultspt.com or at their Twitter page. You'll get all the information you need about how to contact them for help with your needs. Thank you. Again, Cody needed a few minutes to do something he needed to take care of. And Brian is, trying to get home on Good Friday from work, I'm sure. So he'll be joining us here shortly. Brandon, come up and chat with me while we wait for the guys to join us. Oh, looks like Brandon's not available right yet either. Oh, there he is. Hey, Brandon, how are you?
Hi, Sherry. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Appreciate you tuning in this afternoon. I see Software has joined us as well. Please welcome my co host, Brian.
Hey guys, I'll be right there with you.
Okay, go ahead. Cody needs a minute or two his also. So there you go. Brandon, what are you doing today?
Oh, not much. Just got the baseball game on in the background. Won't be able to hang out. I don't know how long the show's going to be. I won't be able, might not be able to hang out the whole time because me and my girlfriend are going to have dinner tonight. But I'd like to listen. I like Cody, and I'd like to listen and see what's up.
Well, I'm glad you joined us. And of course, you can always listen to the replay when you get some time. So I appreciate you, Brandon. Cody, are you available?
I am. How are you guys
Hey,
and
Cody
gals?
Daniels, welcome. Welcome to our space. How are you, pal?
I'm up and down, but can't complain at the moment. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. We're going to get all into that in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and start your intro, and hopefully, software will be ready with his questions or comments shortly after that. I want to give you a proper introduction, Cody. Most, if not all of us, got to know our guest in X Spaces last year. His plight in the battle of life won all of our hearts and support. Cody final tabled the 2023 Poker Go Cup, a a $5,100 buy-in. He finished sixth place and was crushed by a three-outer by Mark Lally. However, he did get to pocket a little over $27,000 for his great effort in that tournament. Cody Daniels Hendon Mob lists his total live earnings at over $74,000 with a best live cash of $30K for his 635th finish in the main event. Again, welcome to our space, Cody. Can you please give us an overview of I'm sorry, of where you are with your health and what happened. Like, what happened to you as far as your health? Just a brief description to catch people up, please.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for that introduction. Yeah, so when I was young, I had I was completely normal and never even really had the sniffles or a flu prior to getting sick. And I just woke up in the middle of the night with really bad stomach pain, and it led to uh, the best way to put it is some mistakes were made, and I do live in the middle of nowhere, so the healthcare isn't, but that ended up they flew me to Phoenix for in the nick of time to save my life, and it ended up going on for I didn't leave that building for years and years and years at Phoenix Children's. So I get fed through a tube every night that I hook up to my IV pole. I get, I have secondary adrenal insufficiency, and pretty much in bed, 22 plus hours a day, and am as we speak. But yeah, that's as far as my health. It's just ongoing. And my last really major surgery was 2020, and that was to remove and resect a huge part of my bowel that I had left, which wasn't a lot. And so now it's all about how long I can dodge a surgery. Now the last, I'd say 3 out of 5 hospital stays I've had, the 2 out of 6, the last 6 months in the hospital, those were, I'd say 3 out of the 5 were close to being it. The other two, not so much. But yeah, so that's my health, and that's how I got to be where I am now. But yeah, I got my mom next to me. It's her birthday, and how old are you, Mom? 61. Oh wow.
Happy birthday, Leslie.
Thank you very much.
Well, I am so enamored by the relationship the two of you have. And I know that your mom has been by your side through it all, Cody. If you had to write a journal entry to your mom, what would it say?
Um, I don't want to. It's funny you say that because I don't want to spoil it for her, but in time she'll know. But yeah, in terms of mom was there in the hospital for years, right next, and still is anytime in the hospital. And what's bizarre is I couldn't do her job, which is be the one in the chair in the support system, but it sounds crazy, but I can be the one in the bed. I can't stand 1 second in the hospital doing her job. So yeah, she's been by my side the whole time.
A true
Yes.
testament of a great mom, huh, Cody?
Thank you. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
Uh,
just that advocating is that's necessary because it's just he has such a long history that doctors are only in the room for a few minutes and they only look at your chart for a few minutes. So it's my job to always fill in the holes and make sure they're not missing anything because as Cody has said, there's actually mistakes made at 3 different places that we were at that were life threatening, and it's hard. I'm going to even say it's hard for the doctors because his history is very complex, and now it's complicated with the secondary diagnosis because you take one med and it alters another med and alters the way you feel. He has to be on steroids every day, and so that's definitely a medication that's upsets your stomach, you know. So it's just a balancing act, you know, to keep him and make sure he takes care of himself all the time too. I'm like,
Well, of
start
course,
your
and
feeds, do your feeds, do your feeds. A couple of nights he misses them here and there, and I get very worried because I know, you know, it's got to be his healthcare's got to be very regimented and everything has to be exact, you know. So
And
and
I don't
that's
want to brush over what you, the one sentence that you said that my ears perked up, and that is that you're his advocate. You're his patient advocate. And that's what I was for my mom. And you're right. You have doctors coming in the room talking to the patient for 10 minutes, and they are in charge of making decisions about their health care. And there were many a days that I pushed back and I had records and I said, here's the proof of what I'm saying to you. And even with the proof, they still didn't believe me. And, sometimes you have to fight that battle because no one's there to do it for the patient. And so it's
Thousand percent.
yeah, that it's very important that we hear what Leslie's saying that when you have a loved one, make sure you're their advocate because nobody's perfect. Medicine is not perfect. And we have
yeah.
to make sure we get that information out there. So thank you for that, Leslie.
My
That
mom.
that that's one thing I'll say is I've always said there's a reason they call it practicing
Yeah.
medicine. But you know, the amount of mistakes, even in the best hospitals in the world, the amount of mistakes like
Yeah.
micro and macro that get made second to second, you know, hour to day to day, like it's insane, and these little mistakes add up. But and that's the amount of times I probably would have passed away without mom is just endless.
Wow.
Because she was an advocate for me and still is when I can't speak for myself a lot of the times.
Well,
Yeah.
and I hear you loud and clear, and I also hear software. So welcome back, software. I know you're
Oh,
having some
thanks.
issues.
Sorry about that. Twitter. I was lost in the Twitterverse, I think.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
I couldn't agree with you more, Cody. Like family members of mine, I remember when my dad went into the hospital one time. He had a broken back. He's sitting there, and the nurse is saying, "It's after." He said, she says, "It's after visiting hours. You need to go." And I said, "You're gonna have to call the police if you want me to go, or." I can do my best to be as big of a help to you as I possibly can, and you won't have to worry about this guy too much throughout the night. Like, and she's like, okay, but don't tell anybody. It's like, no, we're not leaving you there alone. Because, honestly, Cody, like, and you see this probably more than anybody, they're they are there, it's their Monday, and you can't afford for them to be you know their bad day, that they make a mistake or something like that. So it's your mom seems like such an amazing person to to do all this, and obviously I think if it were my kid, my daughter actually has a lot of medical problems too. um and we're the same way. We don't leave her alone. We do not leave her alone. So, um,
Yeah, it's insane, the support that I and I'm always 3 hours away in a Phoenix hospital. So I mean that adds an endless amount of challenges to an already shitty situation. Now that he's an adult, you know, everything changed when he was an adult. I had it supportive parents at Phoenix Children's, and you know, did see some terrible stuff that actually made me advocate even more for Cody because it was similar situations. And once we moved to LA to Cedars and he was an adult, it was just so depressing. And the fact that I a lot of
yeah,
times couldn't stay with them, so I ended up sleeping in the car. And would go up in the morning and hang out. And he's a male, so he has shared rooms sometimes with other adult
Yes.
males, and it's just not allowed. But I still am not going to leave the area. So
Yeah.
it just things did change and made things a little bit harder, but and you have a new set of doctors, which I mean, even you could catch them up on 10 years worth of history and they'll never know. Only I and
Oh,
really
geez, yeah.
her know the full
Of
history.
course, of course.
Mel,
Well, I'm just going to cover one more thing, and we're going to move on to poker. My journal entry to you, Cody, would read: "Thank you for today. Thank you for yesterday. For you continue to teach me and others how important moments are in our lives. That we should chase our dreams no matter what. So thank you, Cody." So let's move on to poker.
Oh, I had the mic muted, but my mom said, "Oh, it was so nice," and it was. That is awesome, and yeah, I mean that's just me. I before we go into the poker thing, I literally have even close friends that are like, man, if you don't feel so well, you should stay home and not play poker. I'm like, well, it's either me feeling like crap at home or here, so. It might as well go and try to have as normal of a life as I can.
Well, and believe me, we see it, we hear it, we read about it, and we are supporting you and we appreciate you, Cody, for sure. And you are a beacon of light, whether you realize it or not, bud. You are a beacon of light.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
let's move on to poker and let's talk about the past, first of all. Can you describe to us what the hours leading up to the Poker Go final table kind of look like? What did it look like for you, Cody?
So I ended up coming into town to Vegas, about a 2.5 hour drive, the night before to try to rest. And then I woke up the day of and was feeling as decent as I could. And then I walked into, I was just so excited walking in there and buying in, seeing who was at my table. And you were, you were there with us during that tour, and my eyes were just wide eyed, just, oh my God, like I have to play in here at least once in the studio. And so it was, and then as soon as the tournament started, I started feeling about as bad as I could. And I've never felt, by the end of the night, I've never felt worse at a poker table in my life. But then I woke up day two feeling like better because I had a really good night's sleep. And then as soon as I busted, it ended up, heading into 8 days in the ICU. So,
Yes, and that was a worrisome time for you and your mom and your support system. And believe me, we're all sending those prayers to you. But I'm going to tell you, we were so proud of you and that tournament and how well you did. It was fun to be able to rail you and say, "Hey, I kind of know that guy." He's, it's kind of fun to watch. It's more fun, isn't it, when you actually know somebody at that table?
oh yeah, yeah, and it was just playing with everyone that already, people that I idolized from very young age, like to be not only in their presence but playing against them in the arena. I mean, that was worth the price of admission on its own. But I played really good. I ran pretty good. I was all in on the bubble 3 times. And then it just, walking out of there, as bad as I felt, walking out of there at midnight that night, I was like, holy shit. I'm like, how in the world did this just happen? And so obviously you guys saw my final table appearance only lasted a whole 3 hands, but it was so worth it.
Well, it was amazing to us. It was probably, I don't know, it kind of felt longer than it was, I think, because we were just rooting for you. And so even though it only lasted three hands, for us, we were looking at, that you had to make it to that day. And so it really was fun railing you, and we're so proud of you.
Yeah, at the end, I mean, on day two, the whole studio was rooting for me. Really, really the whole time. But day two is, when I was at the final table, I had, I mean, people I took out of the tournament rooting for me, and it was awesome. They were great to mom, and I mean, the whole experience was, I got the whole poker go experience with the lights and the studio. It was great.
It was awesome. Okay, let's talk about one of your dreams was to play the WSOP main event, which you were able to do. Can you tell us what you would do the same or differently before, during, or after that event?
So I've been posting a bit about it on Twitter or X lately, but if you haven't seen, I've been in this pub league to win a seat to the World Series for the last, say, 6 years. And in the previous five, it's like 40 players. I had gotten like third, second, third. And then last year, I ended up uh, leading pretty much the whole year and then ended up getting passed up on the very last lap, essentially, by one of my closest friends on the planet. And so I was just devastated because I was like, man, I am never going to get there. I am like, I've, this is just torture to keep like putting up a good performance and just falling short every year. And then, but it didn't feel, our dream was to play the main event together. And so even though I lost, at least, it stung, but I was happy that he got to go. And so turns out, had I not lost that, none of what's gone on would have happened. Kind of butterfly effect situation, because I was so like just heartbroken that I was like, let me just go decompress and let's take a little trip. And so that's when I hit up Lexi Gavin and said, hey, I'm coming back into town. And that's when I walked into the studio, and things kind of, MJ Gonzalez and Casey Coughlin bought me into the main event. I got to play his stack on poker night, and that just kind of changed everything. And I was like, "Holy smokes!" And I told my friend, "I'm like, well, in a weird way, we're finally gonna get to do our dream and play the main event together." And so, playing the main event, I went in with a couple like game plan things, which were start as late as I can, realistically, to my strategy to save like stamina health wise,
Right?
and get a day in between, and if I do make day two. So I started like at the end of day one, and then had a day off. And then there was a lot of as the days went on, there was a lot of press going on, and it was extremely and I felt fabulous during the summers, and on a scale as best I could. But like I felt fabulous, and it was grueling and tiring, and that's why I'm just like, I don't know how I would have done it going 9, 10 days straight of that, when I barely made as long as I did. So of course now, knowing that I really don't have the stamina for it, of course now I'm like absolutely demolishing my public league So the year I kind of don't, I don't want to say that I like don't want to play the main, but I just don't have like the stamina for it. And so of course, I'm in first by a long shot in the league. Are you guys there?
Yep, I'm here. I think Sherry must have
Oh,
gone away. There she
no,
is.
actually, I'm talking with my mic off.
Oh, there we go. I've done
The
that
old
before.
rookie trick. The old rookie trick. What I was saying to myself was God works in mysterious ways. And of course, the poker gods would put you in first place this year in your league.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was said before it started. I'm like, I just the main reason I played this year is because I'm like, it's my group of friends and my home game with a lot of older folks. It's just a great group. So I was gonna play like regardless of what was on the line. And of like you said, of course the poker gods kind of put me not only carried me through the poker night experience, the main event, Hustler, and now the high roller. It definitely feels scripted, but in time, it's gonna be a lot harder to make it in poker tournaments when your opponents have the sets.
Right, right. And, would it be like how many more months of the league do you have before a winner is declared?
About a month and a half. We're 6 out of 10 weeks, and you get 55 points for a win, and I'm 100 points up on second. So, I the whoever's in second, and we're kind of bunched up way above third and fourth and whatever. They have to have a pretty miraculous comeback, and I have to kind of run terrible. But yeah, a month and a half.
Well, the good news is maybe, you can come up with some kind of staking deal with the second place person if you can't play it yourself. So, whatever. You guys will figure it out. The league will work with you guys.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's definitely a great group, and the guy who runs it is, man, his mom, she's like maybe in her 80s. She won a seat a few years ago. Well, he hasn't. I mean, he's a 30-year, 40-year poker fan and has never played it, and he's responsible for any and everything poker in this town. So I really want to see him win the seat. Ironically, he deserves it.
Is he in second place?
He's in third.
He's in third. Oh, the plot thickens, Cody.
Yeah, I
You might
know.
have to come back in a month and a half and tell us what happened.
Yeah, yeah,
The
but the format is weird this year. This year the person who wins on points does not win a seat like the previous five. So of course, once again, I run good when I kind of don't need it. But essentially, how it's gonna go is there's two seats given away, and the first one will be the top nine in the standings will play a one table sit and go, and the higher you are up, the more chips you'll start with. So the first place person obviously statistically has the best chance, but then whoever wins that seat, the other 39 people who don't win or haven't won a seat
right.
will then play another 39-person tournament with the same structure, which will whoever wins that will win a seat. So winning this year won't actually matter. What matters is kind of making the top nine. At this point, I 100% could miss out the final 4 games and probably end up in third, honestly.
Right. Well, you know what? I like that your league is kind of mixing up how they're doing it and having two additional tournaments with using your stats. I think that's kind of a fun way to do it instead of just an outright winner. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I always love playing with somebody from one of these leagues. It's so cool. Some of these leagues, like they'll bring like people will come out. Do you guys do it where some of them do it where everybody kind of gets a share of the winnings, or you guys do that too, or no?
So, oh, that is a great question. So, we had every year it's been more than one person. Three max have gone last year. Three people won a seat last year
Wow.
because it was a 15-week season. However, 2 years ago, I believe the year Karai won, but I had no, it was the your stat Espen, the year Espen won.
Uh-huh.
We had a fellow win that ended up going like really deep in the main event, like 50th place for like
Wow.
160 grand or something. Now the plan was to, like you mentioned, 15% of whatever you win goes back to the league. Well, it wasn't in writing, and the guy, I can only assume, um, has a or had a struggling business at the time and said, "Hey, like I got to pay Uncle Sam and now I got to pay 15% to the league," and ends up stiffing us all. I mean, it was like 300, 400
Wow.
bucks a person. And that's not the people that are in the league. Like everyone, 99% of the people would have. And,
Other buddies.
yeah, I was gonna do a free roll, and I last year for my winning like $1,000 free roll tournament, I didn't even win a seat. So
Yeah.
like that's how most people are in this, and so that was a shock. So come back next year, and the guy who runs it goes, "Look, at this point, now that so and so did what he did, I can no longer hold anyone who wins a seat in the future to do the same thing. However, most people will probably, even though, if they do cash, will probably kick back 15. But yeah, it was a sad and ugly situation, sadly.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
there's always one.
even if he doesn't know, right? Like it kind of feels like you went to eat a meal and didn't tip, like it's like everybody should be in there. That's kind of how, and the other thing too is, like I was saying, that's kind of standard for how that works because everybody's dream is to get there. Only one or however many you guys end up can actually go. So everybody else gets to live vicariously through you by having a little piece at least. So that
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, they were, all of us were sitting on the sidelines rooting him on, and yeah, it was
Uh,
unfortunate, and he actually had a fair amount of press as well. He ended up taking uh I forget who got second, but uh Aldemir, or no, no, Espen put a beat on
both
him.
those guys, yeah.
Yeah, Kings versus Queens, and hit a queen, put a beat on
Uh,
him, took half his stack, and then whoever got second, I don't know, I can't think of it, but they also put a beat on him at the end of day 7 or 6 or
oh,
whatever. But yeah,
That's
what
so unfortunate. Go ahead, Brian. You have any more
yeah,
questions?
what date did you get to? I can't remember.
about an hour away from bagging for day 5, so end of day 4.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, people just don't like I mean, you coming into it knew, you kind of knew that you had to conserve energy and that kind of thing, but man, like it is. They don't call it a grind for nothing. You were just
Yeah, adrenaline was the only
yeah,
thing keeping me
yeah,
going,
exactly.
and I felt like I had to sleep for a good month or two after.
It's really hard, especially in the main, but I think that you have to get to the point where you just, you know, treat it somewhat like a normal tournament in some ways, but like you can't all you can do is make the best decisions that you can make and realize like you can't sit there on eggshells for 7 days, like just freaking out, you're playing a game. Hopefully it's going to go your way, but if it doesn't, it doesn't, you know. And the experience of it. I mean, I'm so happy that you got to play the main. Like I was like seriously, and I hope you get to play this year too. That'd be amazing. I hope your health stands up. I was,
Yeah, it was fantastic until passing out on day three. But I've said it before. For
yeah,
what it's worth, when I got back up into my chair, I had felt a lot better than before I went down, and we
amazing.
were on the nearing the bubble.
Yeah,
And I had like two big blinds, and I was in the big blind. I'm like, let me just go out on this hand, and then I'll exit the tournament. And then the poker gods didn't quite have that in the cards.
that's so awesome. It's hard when you get down to the end there. The bubble, a bubble in a 4 day tournament, or an 8 day tournament, whatever it is, you're just like, it goes on and on and on and on and on. And the year
Brutal.
I cashed, I was in the small blind. I hadn't played hardly any hands. I wasn't getting any cards to play anyway. And this guy, Mark Voss, this guy, can't remember, South African, he's pretty well known. He's sitting in the big blind. He's to my left all day long, playing almost every hand. He's got tons of chips. It floats around to me in the small blind, and I jam in. And the guy calls off with like 8 or something. I'm like, you didn't think I had king 8 like crushed? Like, and so now I'm at
It's-
risk. I'm like, oh no, like I'm gonna go bust a couple hours before the money. And unfortunately, I didn't. But you
I
know,
was going to have to yell at you if this was a bad beat story. Uh,
no, I don't tell bad beat stories. I actually
no
enjoy
telling
bad
bad beat
beats.
stories.
Those are my
Um,
favorite.
but I want to take and do a little bit of house cleaning for a minute, you guys. A shout out
Yeah,
and thank yous to our sponsor, Elevator Results. If you need to lose weight or gain weight, Elevator Results will tailor make a plan of action for you. Check out their success stories at elevatorresultspt.com or on their Twitter page. Thank you. Um, I like to play a little game called Rapid Fire. Are you familiar with it, Cody?
yes,
All
I
right,
am.
prepare yourself. Rapid fire time, Cody. Pizza or
Okay.
burgers?
I can't eat, so
Oh,
neither.
I'm sorry, you're on a feeding tube. How rude of me. Honest to God. How absolutely rude of me, Cody.
Pizza.
Live or online poker?
Live.
Pinball or Call of Duty?
Call of Duty.
Boxers or briefs?
Boxers.
Limit or no limit poker?
No
Thank
limit.
you for playing, sir. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah.
So you were saying, are you saying that now you go to the hospital, you're in LA, or that you're in Phoenix sometimes?
I was in I was in LA from about 2012, was it? Was it? Yeah, 2012 ish. But now and pretty much 99% of the time it was in Phoenix and still
Okay.
is.
Well, send me I'm gonna DM you my number. I hope you're never in the hospital again. I hope that you are healthy and not having to go there. But if you do, I might be able to help you guys with if you needed places to stay and stuff like that. So just I'm gonna send you my. I'm gonna DM you my number.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. I don't want to dox you, but you live in Phoenix?
No, no, I don't.
Okay, I was like, I didn't think so, but I was like, I don't want to put you on blast.
You guys have that conversation in a DM.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. 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 Go ahead, Brian. More questions?
So when you after you were out of the main event, like you ended up in the hospital again, right? Or no? Like,
Not the main event. So the main event was over. I went home and then we went to LA for the Hustler. And then I didn't go to the hospital. Yeah, no, I thought it was end of September. September through. I had a relatively good summer. Lucky in terms of the health, but in September is when I went in. About 5 times in September.
Cody, are there any poker players that you wish to be across the table from on the felt?
Yeah, I mean, the list was endless for the last 9 months, and I've got a chance to kind of tackle all those all of that list, but really, Alan Keating would be a joy to play with, but that Alan Keating is definitely at the top of the list at any at small stakes,
Right.
obviously.
I'm going to tell you something. I have watched him on some live feeds prior to meeting him in spaces and actually getting to chat with him in spaces. And I really enjoy chatting with him and the fact that he is so willing to answer any questions from anybody, anytime. And he shares his wealth of knowledge base, no matter the topic. And I really have a great appreciation for the person he is. So I would second wanting to play him. I second that, so to speak, just because I think the world of him.
he's such a nice guy.
He
Did
really
you
is.
did you get to play with him at the Spaces event?
So that's the one thing I'm so jealous of is
Uh,
when he met I won't say the name, but last summer during the main event, during the whole he ended up meeting and playing poker with Alan Keating. But I was so jealous. I'm like, oh, that would have been the just the nuts. And then yeah.
I hear you. It's a little frustrating. That dirtbag got to do things that he should have never been able to do, out of the kindness of the poker world's hearts, right? And it's frustrating for all of us. But we won, Cody. We won. He didn't, because he is losing in
Yes.
life. And hopefully your goal of playing with Keating one day will come this summer when you get to the Vegas.
Yeah, let's hope. Yeah, there's some others on the list. Good old Helmuth. I mean, who wouldn't want to be the victim of a rant from him? But Phil, Doug Paul. I mean, there's just a few. Daniel Negreanu. I haven't played with, but saw it was he was cheering for me at the high roller. So that would also be a mini and probably every poker player's dream is to play with him.
yeah,
Awesome.
he's
And are there any players that you've already played against that you look forward to playing with again? Like they really stand out for you?
Yeah, I got to play with both of the Foxens. I think I had uh, him, her, Ryan Reese, Sam Soverell, Lucky Chewy, Byron Caverman, and that was my table at one point on the first day of the high roller. The Foxens were fantastic. I made a post last night about Adam Walton. He was fantastic. Really, everybody was I've played with. I would love to get the chance to
Honestly, you
again.
really should play with some people that aren't such big losers on the felt. Jesus.
I know they're all
Yeah, you're
God,
killers.
talk
picking
about
these soft
crushers.
games. Soft
Go ahead, Brian.
games. Cody out there bum hunting.
Cody, what kind of tournaments are you looking to play? We already talked about the WSOP seat you're vying for and your feeling about that. What other tournaments are you eyeing for this summer?
So when I notched some things off the bucket list over the last 9 months, I really just hope I have the health to play one small buy-in World Series tournament and just go with the family and just play like something like the Colossus or just something like that. But my mom has, and this would be quite the trip, but my mom and I have a lot of her remaining family in, near the lodge in Austin, Texas. So she has been pushing for us to make the trip to go visit the family and maybe check out that place. But that involves a flight and yeah, like any trip is tiring. Traveling's tiring on anybody, but when you add in a flight, it's rough.
Right. I hear you, bud. I hear you. Well, if I can just give a little bit of an insight for the lodge, I have been there. It's awesome. The staff there is amazing. And of course, the three new co owners, partners, are doing a great job there. So you won't have a bad time. Hopefully, you can figure that travel part out, um, so that you can get there. One day at a time, Cody.
Yeah, yeah. I got to visit and got to know two of the three owners during this last 9 months and when we were all in Vegas in December. And they are, even in the last week after I posted that I would love to go. I mean, there's a few things that are waiting for me. It's just a matter of me getting there health wise and just physically. So, hopefully I get the shot to do that. If not, the family's gonna have to come to Arizona.
Right. Let me ask you this question. Would a private, um, not necessarily a jet, but a private plane be an easier travel for you or no?
100%, because the reasoning behind it is being able to lay down. This is probably the second most important thing, but being able to lay down is while I'm traveling is huge. You could do that in like first class on some planes and stuff. However, the biggest challenge is the fact that we live um, nearly 3 hours away from any metropolitan city or airport. So we have a small airport here in town that only flies private jets and planes out of it. So to be able, anytime I have to fly, it involves a 3 hour trip both ways of driving added on.
Makes for a hard travel.
Yeah, first class you're okay at.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I mean, as long as my health's good, I mean, we can't really. I really don't have many complaints on anything, and like similar to the main event, I'm sure adrenaline would propel me.
Sure, of course, of course. I want to tell our listeners if you'd like to come up and ask Cody any questions or make any comments, please hit that request button in the bottom left corner so we can make you a speaker. And you are more than welcome to come onto the panel and chat. Go ahead, software.
So, so you think that you will get out there this summer or no?
To Austin or
The
the
World
World
Series,
Series.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping to. But we shall see. I mean, it's always day to day, hour to hour. So yeah, I'm planning on
Yeah.
it.
You want a seat?
You need to win a seat. Yeah, then you have to
Yeah.
go.
You
You
cannot
are
sell it
going.
or cash it in for money. So you have to play if you win. So you can't sell it or do anything like that. So I would have to go play.
It's such an experience. I hope you get to do it again. I think, uh, I always tell people, like, if you're into poker, save your money or whatever you got to do. Find a way when, try to win a seat like you're doing or through satellites or whatever, because realistically, like, it is a lot of money. I don't want to downplay the amount of money. It's a lot of money, but in the scope of maybe a bucket list kind of item, man, like there's just like I mean that if I hadn't done it yet, I would definitely want want to make sure that I got to play it at least once. It's just such a fun tournament to go play. And I mean, like, one thing, Cody, like, you got to the point end of day four, everybody's in the same room, right? And then you're like, they're probably starting to break down some tables. You're starting to see like a reasonable conclusion to this tournament. Like, I mean, it's far away still, but not as far as you thought at the beginning. So it's just,
Yeah, and it was I was like, especially with everything that had happened prior, um, I felt like I was free rolling, going through the doors
yeah.
on day one. So anything else was like, just cherry on top. And honestly, that's now that I've had my I guess you call it the like fairy tale experience in the main. I That's kind of what has made me more so pull for the guy who runs the league to get a shot, or somebody else to get a shot to go live their dreams, and the other people who have one seats through the league. Only one's cash, but everybody's come out of it just like and had the time of their life, and that's what it's about for people like us.
I see a request from Underdog, and I'm going to have a short rope.
Did you click it?
I did. First, I offered him a co-hosting. My finger didn't do it. I'm getting a thumbs down privately, not to let him up here. But like I
That's
said, a short leash. Go ahead, leash. Go ahead, Underdog.
How bad could it be? Underdog is a
Oh,
cat dad CEO.
Well, hello.
hello. Do you have a question or comment for Cody? Oh, darn. Technical difficulties. I'm sorry.
I hate it when that happens,
I
Sherry.
do
Twitter
too.
really needs to work on this stuff.
I know
Um, I'm I'm anxious to hear it.
it. Well, when I'm getting private thumbs down from people that love me and want to and protect us,
Protect you. You're like,
it
this
could
is a
be
bad
interesting.
I'll take it. We'll see. We'll see.
I always give people a chance until they prove me wrong, right? Um, Unless you have more questions, software, we're going to let Cody go because we try to keep it to about an hour, Cody. And we're just about getting to that point. So, Brian, do you have any other questions?
No, I'm good. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Cody, it's been a pleasure. Happy birthday, Leslie. It's been a pleasure hearing you as well today.
Thank you.
Um,
Thanks for having this for Cody.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was nice catching up, and yeah, I'm always available, or wanting to. I shouldn't say I'm always available, but yeah, anytime you guys have this going on, yeah, let me know. I'm always in here listening and just kind of hanging out.
well, you're always welcome. And I see that Donna has come up as a speaker, so I'm going to give her an opportunity. Welcome aboard, Donna. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm half dead. Sorry I'm late.
It's okay. She was
I'm
sleeping.
Yeah, I'm sleeping. It's like so tiring. How are you, Cody? It's so nice to hear from you. And how's your mum?
We are both sitting right here. I am good.
Hi, Donna.
And it's mom's birthday, so
Oh, very happy
Uh,
birthday.
happy birthday.
Thank you. 61.
Well, you don't look it.
God bless.
Well, oh, I believe it after being mother of Cody. No, I'm just kidding. All his health stuff. But thank you again.
Well,
how are
I'm good.
how are
Yeah,
you?
I'm good. Missing you a lot, obviously. But I've got something to
Oh,
look forward to in April, but that's by the by. I just came up to say hi and you've been missed and good luck in Vegas.
oh, what time is it right now for you?
12:30 in the morning.
Oh, well, thank you for coming by and saying hi. We miss you too, and hopefully we get a chance to meet up again.
Definitely. So on that note, I will say good night, everybody. I'm going back to sleep.
Good night.
I'm
Good night,
dead.
Joanka.
Donna, stay
Good
out of the
night.
car pursuits while you're the police pursuits out there. Beg you.
Good night, wanker.
Good night, Wanker. Love you.
Good
Love
night.
you. Bye.
Well, I appreciate her and her sense of humor as always. Brian, thank you. Cody, we appreciate you, and you're always welcome to stop by no matter what time or what we're doing, bud. And Leslie, you take care. Everybody,
You
thank
too.
you.
Nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, and once again just all the support through here and during the whole health challenges and when I'm in the hospital is overwhelming. So I appreciate everyone and all the nice messages, and I'll keep fighting the good fight.
You guys are family.
We know you will, Cody, and that keeps us going as well. So, thank you everybody for tuning in, and those that are going to listen to the replay, thank you, and happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you.
All right, you
Thanks.
guys have a good
Bye.
one.